It was another busy week for all of us here at North TV as the 2023 election season drew to a close with voting on Monday and Tuesday. There was a turnout of only 11.9% of Plainville's registered voters, with 3 contested races on the ballot on Monday. There was an upset in the Select Board race, with Maggie Clark winning easily over incumbent Stanley Weidak Jr. for a 3-year term on the Select Board. The vote total, 584 to 262. Gregory Waymeyer, 12 months after winning a 1-year seat on the King Philip Regional School Committee, was elected to a full 3-year term after defeating Daniel Amicone, 422 to 384. Thomas McHugh defeated Tina Dupre for a 5-year seat on the Planning Board, a seat held in the past by Robert Davis, who opted not to seek re-election this year. The election was the last for Town Clerk Ellen Robertson, who retired yesterday. Make that Thursday after 15 years in the position. She will be succeeded by Cynthia Bush, who ran unopposed for the position. Robertson, Clark, Weidak, McHugh, Dupre, and Amicone joined Mike Kirby and I during North TV's live election coverage. I asked Robertson what she will miss and what she will be doing during retirement.
I am going to miss my job, and I'm going to miss elections. I'm not going to miss the anxiety that comes with this, the restlessness the night before, sure. And I had to have every precinct's machine plugged in, turned on, and working before I could really relax. But yes, I do enjoy elections.
So what are you going to do with all your free time?
I'm going to sleep in, and I'm just going to do whatever. Spend a lot of time with my granddaughter. We go camping. Just do what we want to do, I guess.
It's been on my mind running for select board for some time. But as an employee, I could never do that. And I recently, this past summer, went to work for the city of Taunton, and so this was kind of more on my radar than it had been in the past, only because now it was something I could actually pursue. And so I decided to give it a shot, and well, I guess it worked out, yeah.
Surprised the margin was as wide as it was?
Yeah, Stanley's a fixture in Plainville, and I am very surprised, actually. Very humbled and honored. I think first and foremost, I need to learn. That's kind of how I tend to approach things. I would like to learn and listen and speak up when the time is appropriate, and that's how I'll approach it.
A disappointment, no. Plainville is not moving backward. So that alone shows that Plainville will keep moving forward. So it's not a disappointment to me.
What are you most proud of having accomplished while a member of the Select Board?
I think our financial stability. Financial stability, you had Brian and Jeff up here earlier. They talked about some of the things that the Select Board did. That stuff is true. We have more stuff on the horizon. We just have to be very cautious on what we spend. We have to save our money in town. The stabilization fund is good. The free cash is good. It's like everything else. You guys know as well as I do, you both run households. You can't spend over what you have, and that's what got us in trouble before. And we have to be careful that never gets us in trouble again.
Thank you to Tina. I learned a lot because she ran. If I ran uncontested, I wouldn't have done as much of the work. Playing off of what Jeff said earlier, that when there's competition involved, you have to look in the mirror, you have to craft the talk track, you have to think about, different things. So that work was done. I thought it was going to be pretty tight because Tina did a ton of work. She knocked on a lot of doors. And to the point that you guys made earlier about knocking on doors, that wins, and it made me nervous. Everybody that I talked to said that they talked to Tina. So she did a lot of work, so kudos to her.
People have a real opportunity to make a difference in the places that they live. maybe in a presidential election or a state senator election, it gets a lot more airtime, advertising-wise, and it draws in a lot more people. But people come to vote for those, but they're not coming to the elections to vote for their local officials where they can really make a difference. They can have a one-on-one conversation with somebody who gets elected and express their concerns or their desires for the town and the direction that the town wants to go to. And I think a lot of people, they're just busy living their lives and they don't necessarily have time to do that.
Yeah, it's disappointing. A little surprised and disappointed, but I'm a competitive person, so I knew if I lost it, I wasn't going to be happy, of course.
Only a 40 vote difference.
Yeah,
Try it again, or,
40 or 1, it's all the same in the
No,
end.
no, I understand.
There's a winner and there's a loser.
but I mean, you can turn that. You might be able to turn that around.
Yeah, that's certainly the. I mean, I understand your sentiment. I appreciate it. That's the farthest thing from my mind right now.
It's been said a low turnout is a sign residents are happy with the direction of their community. North Attleboro officials are apparently doing a great job, as only 8.14% of all registered voters cast ballots on Tuesday. 13 candidates were seeking the 9 two-year seats on the town council, and it was a great day for incumbents. Justin Paré received the most votes, 1,281, to remain council president. John Simmons will once again serve as vice president, his second term because of his 1,150 votes and second place finish. Incumbents Andrea Slebogan and Mark Gould finished third and fourth with 1,080 and 1,053 votes, respectively. Another incumbent, Darius Gregory, was fifth with 920 votes. Incumbent Andrew Shanahan was sixth with 874. Daniel Donovan, who filled the unexpired term of Joanne Cathcart, was seventh with 791. John Costello, who opted not to run again for the school committee, was elected to the town council with 644 votes, and Patricia St. Pierre grabbed the ninth and final spot with 506 votes. Rachel Katie Welsh, Aidan Prescott, Blake Buchanan, and Charles Badobre finished 10th through 13th. Council President John Simmons and President Justin Paré joined Mike Kirby and I on this set after the results were announced.
I think that we have made great progress. We are actively trying to better the town. We are making strategic investments to prop up our infrastructure, and we want to see North Attleboro be the best that it can possibly be. I think our council leadership has been very fortunate to have Keith and then to have Justin, and then once again Justin lead the council. Really says a lot. They were instrumental in kind of setting the groundwork for how this is all going to go, and I am happy to serve once again.
Members of what I'll call the old guard, whether they were selectmen or not, the old guard in town, unhappy with the fact that every time they read the paper or watch a meeting, the council is approving money that the town manager wants to spend. And, if you have that much free cash, you're overtaxing the people. What do you say to those people?
I think that those voices are fading out. I don't like old guard, new guard, old school, new school. I like North Attleboro. And I think we can learn a lot from the way we are doing things now, but we cannot forget the work that those before us put in. We are really building on their foundation. 15 years from now, who knows that I'm not the one writing letters to the editor saying that I'm unhappy with how our town is going. I think that's natural, but I have the utmost respect for those that served before me in every capacity, and I think we can still learn a lot from them. I think some of those older voices are missing, and I would love to have them get back involved.
I'm so happy with, that John is the vice president as well, because we get to continue our leadership of the council in partnership with the rest of the council. So just truly excited. I don't even remember the question that you asked me, but I think it was, am I ready? And the answer is yes.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned John, because the three of us get a chance to talk not only on the set, but after, when you guys, I'm walking you guys out after we record a program and so on. And you guys make such a great team. You really do. I enjoy listening to the two of you and talk about some of the issues coming up and so on. You guys seem to get along really well.
I think we do, and he brings a different perspective than I do, and different styles too, right? And he's a lawyer by trade, so he has a lot of that background. So
We won't hold that against
we won't. No, I'll go to him for advice on certain things, right? That's out of my expertise, and then I think I bring a different skill set to the table. Like I'm in the business world, right? And I'm solving problems and I'm developing plans and strategies, and that's what I bring to the table. So I think between the two of us, we have a good approach. I think we're open to the other counselors, right? And really, it's really important. It's really important to me that I listen to all the counselors and I give them an opportunity to have their voice heard. And I think the council appreciates that, and John does too. And that's part of why we work well together, because we both kind of see our job in the council as to really help the entire council accomplish their goals.
4 years now for the council. No more board of selectmen, no more RTM. I asked John the same thing. Are you used to this now? Is it becoming comfortable?
Yeah. Peter asked me a question last time we were on North TV for the Inside Town Council, and I had to kind of scratch my head for a couple of seconds. He was asking me about the difference between the selectmen and the town council, and which one was harder. And it's been kind of far removed. The selectmen days have been far removed now, so I feel like I'm fully into this form of government.
Yeah, that was more of a chief executive role, where this is a legislative role with some executive overlap.
It's a different, it's definitely a different form of government with that, right? Because it's certainly we're the legislative branch of government now,
right.
And we partner really closely with our town manager, who is that executive. I feel like it's a really good partnership the way that we're doing it, and we're fortunate to have a town manager who really wants to partner with the town council. That's the way this government will really function well, is if both the legislative and the executive branch are working well together. And listen, it's not always going to be smooth, right? We're going to have differences, but we're all working towards the same goals, right? We set our goals at the beginning of the year together. Council, town manager tries to implement those goals for us on our behalf, and I think it works.
It took 172 residents nearly an hour during Monday's annual Plainville Town Meeting to pass the $40.38 million budget presented by the Finance Committee for the fiscal year beginning July 1st. Those residents also rejected an amendment to reduce the proposed budget for schools, public safety, and other departments to set more money aside for future capital projects.
Finance Committee recommends and is funding, therefore, to appropriate as follows: $30,586,371 raised from taxation, $3,078,155 raised from projected state revenue, $3,962,400 raised from estimated local receipts, $336,478 transferred from the Water Enterprise Fund, $217,920 transferred from the Sewer Enterprise Fund, $33,735 transferred from the Solid Waste Enterprise Fund, $2,167,613 as previously transferred from the Gaming Stabilization Fund, for a grand total of $40,382,672.
When we sat here last year and passed the budget, we thought that we were putting forward what's in here. And 3 weeks after we passed this budget, they hired 3 new people who were not in the budget. And the 2 positions that you just talked about were also hired mid-year with no discussion.
We're going to pass a budget tonight that authorizes the town to spend a certain amount of money. Current motion is $40 million and change. And tomorrow, and especially July 1st, and August 1st, and September 1st, things are going to change. We have a choice, thanks to the Massachusetts Municipal Modernization Act of 2016, to actually transfer money between line items with the approval of, with a proper request from the finance director, the approval of your finance committee, and the approval of your select board. No company that you work for sets a budget up at the beginning of the year and 1 month in says, I can't take advantage of these savings and now take care of this business opportunity or meet this need.
I'd like to make a motion to move $385,500 from 10 specific departmental budget recommendations to the new, to free cash.
Before you start cutting money out of these budgets of these people who deserve and work hard for you, please stop and think of all the time that these people and everyone else at the town hall took time to do, and these departments that you want to cut, Mr. Webster, whatever your name is, sir, apologize. These people are new, hardworking, and deserving.
It's not all of a sudden we gave them more money. We've worked very hard to give you a budget that actually reflects what's being spent. And that means some percentages went up more, not because they're getting more money, but because there's things that have been moved into that budget. And there are positions that were created because we needed them.
And it's very difficult to sit here and watch that much money get expended when we know we have 4 separate projects where they're going to ask all of us in this town for money.
I've been listening all during this discussion and I get a very good sense about the amount of work that's going on to develop this budget, the amount of input that's been put in. With all due respect, I just would like to ask Mr. Webster, I want to know his due diligence.
I came up with the 2.5% because I originally wanted to take $1 million, and I thought, you know what, they're not going to let me do that. So 2.5 seems to be my magic crying number that I've been saying ever since the override. Let's monitor our budgets to 2.5. So if I took 2.5% lower than these double-digit budgets from, like, it's crazy.
Okay, we got it.
You to take more than $200,000 from our school budget will be devastating. There is no easier way to say that. It will be a devastating cut to our schools and to our children.
Okay, I'm going to end it there, Mr.
If you address me, can I at least refer back to it for one?
No, you can't. I'm going to end it there. Those in favor of Mr. Webster's motion, please raise your card. Those opposed to Mr. Webster's motion, please raise your card. Clearly, a majority not in favor of the motion. Is there any further discussion on Article 3? Those in favor of the omnibus budget as presented, Article 3, please raise your cards. Thank you. You may lower your cards. Those opposed to Article 3 as presented, thank you. You may lower your cards. A majority has been achieved on this vote. Article 3 passes.
North TV was front and center during the Alliance for Community Media's national conference this week in Brooklyn, New York. I was invited to present as part of a panel discussion, Increasing Non-Cable Subscription Revenue, with 3 other panelists. Our peers from across the country wanted to learn more about North TV's insider subscriptions, requiring non-cable residents or make that non-cable subscribers and people living outside of North Attleboro and Plainville to pay a fee to view programming on the NorthTV.net website. If someone were to go to North TV, and I have no idea what we're live streaming now, so there we go. Oh, actually, this is an unlikely story. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Have you ever heard of those books? Jeff Kinney is a resident of Plainville. He took this historic building and made it into a bookstore. And some of the most famous authors from around the world come to this bookstore. They put on presentations, and they allow us to record the presentations. After 30 seconds, see what happened? Log in, register to view full videos. To create an account, click here to register. Access thousands of videos on demand. There are 3 options. Option number 1 is free. That person simply fills out all the information, and here's the key. They need to upload a copy of their latest cable bill. We started out asking
cable subscribers to upload a bill every 3 months, and we received a couple of complaints, so I said, you know what? If someone is so cheap that they are going to upload a cable bill and get rid of cable television the next day, they deserve a year's subscription. So that's what we did.